We have to talk about what just dropped from the House Oversight Committee. This is massive. House Democrats have released emails written by Jeffrey Epstein himself, which contradict everything Donald Trump has been saying about his relationship with the convicted sex offender. These are explicit claims that Trump knew about all of it. He knew about Epstein's abuse of young women or girls. And also, it appears as though there was coordination about what would be publicly said about that. The House Oversight Committee got these emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. They are from 2011 to 2019, meaning these were all written after Jeffrey Epstein's suspicious plea deal down in Florida. The first email is from April of 2021, and it is Epstein writing to it is from Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell here, and he says the following: I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim, which is redacted, victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Think about what Epstein is saying here. The dog that hasn't barked. He's saying Trump is the person who could have spoken up. He could have exposed Jeffrey Epstein. He spent hours at Epstein's house with one of the victims, but Trump didn't say anything because, as Epstein then claims, maybe Trump himself is implicated. And that's why Trump hasn't spoken out, because he is accused in this email by Jeffrey Epstein of having spent hours at Epstein's house with the victim. Ghislaine Maxwell's response was, I've been thinking about that. Now it gets worse. In January of 2019, Epstein is emailing with Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is the same author who writes the tell-all books about the Trump White House. And Epstein writes the following: victim redacted, Mar-a-Lago, blank redacted. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. That is to Michael Wolff from Jeffrey Epstein, saying, of course Trump knew about the girls. Not maybe he suspected, maybe he inferred. Of course he knew. Of course he knew. And according to Epstein, I'm giving you the full information. Trump actually intervened at some point. He says, told Ghislaine to stop. Now, then it gets even more interesting. We have another email from December of 2015. This is during the Republican primary. Michael Wolff warns Epstein, CNN is planning to ask Trump about your relationship. Epstein's response here is, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? The idea here is Epstein is trying to help Trump figure out, what do you say? They're trying to strategize, how do we handle media questions? This is during the campaign, years after they supposedly had this falling out. And at least from this email, there's the suggestion that they would be helping Trump craft an answer for this. Michael Wolff responds and says, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey's a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. I want to be intellectually honest here. We don't have the full email chains. Trump has never been charged with any crime related to Jeffrey Epstein. But you've got to look at the pattern, which is Trump consistently lying about and minimizing his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. There's video of them partying together. Trump saying Epstein's a terrific guy. He likes beautiful women as much as I do. And some of them are on the younger side. The Trump administration promised to release the Epstein files. Then they backtracked. They're fighting House efforts to force the release. If Trump really has nothing to hide, why not release everything? And these emails certainly suggest Trump knew much more than he has acknowledged. And now we have Epstein's own words saying that that is the case. Even if Epstein is lying in these emails, why would he lie in private emails? These were not public statements meant to brag about anything. It doesn't make sense. So the emails raise major questions about what else the White House is hiding. We have a president who has repeatedly lied about the relationship he had with a notorious sex trafficker. We have emails suggesting Trump knew about the abuse. He stayed silent about the abuse. And we have an administration that is hiding documents that the public deserves to see. I want to once more mention this really is about the victims who are almost never talked about in this context. These are women now, many of them abused as teenagers, who deserve to know the full truth about everyone who was complicit in the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Trump, as of this moment, and in fact, I will double check whether there's any additional declarations or explosions on Truth Social. No, as of this moment, Trump has not weighed in on it. But I would expect at some point that he says it's a hoax or whatever. The emails are real. The emails exist. They're specific, and they appear to be completely and totally devastating. Every time you Google your name, you will probably find dozens of sites that expose your personal information. This can include phone number, home address, family details. It's just sitting there waiting to be scraped or abused. Incogni is a privacy service. They go after these sites on your behalf. They contact the data brokers. They demand your data be removed, which the brokers are legally required to do. Incogni will automatically remove your information from hundreds of the biggest and most notorious data broker sites, but you're not just limited to those. You can use Incogni's custom removal if you find your info on a website outside of Incogni's default list. The team at Incogni will work to get that information removed. This is how you protect yourself and your family from identity theft, financial scams, harassment, even AI-powered profiling by ad companies. And Incogni's data removal process is the only one verified independently by Deloitte. This gives them a unique level of credibility. Try Incogni risk-free and get 60% off when you go to incogni.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman. The link is in the description.